This is Central Texas Living with Ann Harder.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to talk practical ideas for folks who have had cancer surgery or other kind of medical treatments. And that's what's really exciting for me to welcome Dawn Jacquis to the podcast along with her daughter, Emma. Good to have you guys here. I was not familiar with, this is a nonprofit called Hugs for Healing. Hugs for Healing. And then you're wearing the shirt, the 7 Stitches Boutique. Now, this is a freestanding store, is that right?
Yes, this is my online business, 7 Stitches to Boutique, and then Hugs for Healing is our nonprofit.
Okay, so we've got everything covered here from the standpoint of what you're doing. First of all, tell me, because we're looking at it here on the desk, what is this? I mean, what kind of aids do you have for folks who've had surgery?
I make for 7 Stitches Boutique, that's where I started. I make post-surgical and cancer recovery comfort pillows. These two in particular are for the seatbelt, and they open up and attach to your seatbelt, and they go on the body side of your seatbelt if you've had a mastectomy or heart surgery or abdominal, because they go on the tummy too, abdominal surgery. And this is my original version, and then I tweaked it, and so I do still sell both versions, and this is my new version where it, every now and then someone will say, oh, it just kind of pokes me in the chin, and so I did some rounded corners.
The rounded corners.
Yes, and did just a little bit of a tweak. We wear them all the time, and we have had surgery, but they're just so comfortable.
They're comfortable. Really, and it's something I had not thought about. My sister-in-law, though, had cancer surgery, and she got a gift bag. This is in St. Louis, and it had this thing for her seatbelt, and I thought, what a clever idea. So how did you go through something like this that know there was a need for this, or how did you come up with this idea?
Well, when I started, I was actually making seatbelt travel pillows. That it's just a sleeping pillow that attaches to the seatbelt for kids.
When you fall asleep. Yeah.
Yes, that is right there. You don't drop it when you fall asleep in the car.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was making. And I had started selling. I had taught myself how to sew, started making those and selling them on Etsy. And a customer had contacted me on Etsy and asked me. He said, "I love your products. I'm looking for a pillow for my friend who's going through breast reconstruction." His name was Evan, the gentleman who contacted me. And he said, I love your pillows, but they're a little bulky for what we're thinking. And so he said, can you design something that would work for her? And so that's where this design came from. And the seams in it are just, it's because of the stuffing I use. It's to hold everything in place because I don't use the polyfill. I use a foam, and I didn't want it too thick, and so that's what I designed her, and she loved it. Well, then we got orders to South Korea.
Oh,
so
really?
I didn't sell them online for a while because shipping was so expensive. But within a month after I designed this for that gentleman's friend, my mom was diagnosed with ovarian cancer.
Right.
And so I designed, once I came back from Korea, my mom didn't have breast surgery. She had abdominal surgery, so it works on the belly too. But she had that chemo port all the time.
Exactly.
In her,
Mm-hmm.
and so
you don't think about that.
You don't.
If you're not going through something like that.
I designed this
right
for folks who just have the chemo port, and maybe they don't want something quite as bulky, as long. And so this is the port pal that I made for the chemo ports. And so it's just kind of blossomed from there that I'll have customers go, I like this. Do you think you could?
So you kind of tweak your design as you go along?
And I go and
for what the need. You're meeting the need.
I try to meet the needs of the people that ask. I have a chest pillow. I did bring a brochure. It's called My Surgery Sidekick, and it's for after heart surgery or...
Right. You always see they have a pillow they hug, and if they have to cough or whatever.
And I made it with seams, so it kind of wraps around you. And so I have that. I have kids sizing for all of my most of my products, and then I have a plus size for larger people. Because most of the ones you see out there, they're fairly small.
Right.
And I'm not a really small person. I think I would want something
Little
for at
bit-
least my size. There's a
little bit
lot of
bigger.
stuff for little people.
Well, so how long ago did all this come to you?
Oh gosh, 2013. And
So not that
when
long
we were in
ago.
El Paso, yes. So that's when I came up with it in El Paso, and then I didn't actually start marketing it until we got back from South Korea, and got to South Carolina. So that's when I started selling them, and that was in 2016.
Yeah, so relatively recently
Yes.
that you. It's always fascinating to me to meet somebody who finds a need and finds a solution for it, and then it just sort of grows into. Is this something you even anticipated it would be the size, kind of ministry? I guess if it's
Yes.
nonprofit.
Well, this part is not nonprofit, but the Hugs for Healing is, and I just started Hugs for Healing in December of 20. Yes.
Okay, so
December
very
of 20.
recently.
Yes, so that's really new. And we just finally got our 501c3 designation in September of this last year.
So very, very recent. So let's talk about the nonprofit part of it. Hugs for Healing is that something that you get a little gift bag to go to a patient? Is that how that? Because I think that's what happened with my sister-in-law. She
Right. We
received
call
a thing.
these our blessing bags.
Uh-huh.
And I started doing these because we didn't have the C3 designation, so we weren't really getting any money and donations. And at that point, we're still working on that. But I wanted to do something, and so I started an Amazon wish list. Well, first I started out, I put little flyers out and said, so you can drop them off here, drop things off if you want to buy for the blessing bags, and or you can drop them off at my house. And then I thought, you know what? Amazon, not that I necessarily love shopping on there, but they're a great resource that I can put a wish list on there. People can buy things for the blessing bags and then send it directly to me. And then we will sort it, pack it, and deliver it to the chemo centers in town.
So how do they select the people, the individuals that?
For these, they're giving them to all the new patients. Otherwise, they don't know if somebody's already gotten one, so they've been giving these to the new patients. We have been taking them to all 3 chemo centers in Waco, the McClinton, what's the other one? The one off of Highway 6, Ascension, through Central Oncology, Texas Oncology.
Texas
Thank you.
Oncology.
Yes, you
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah.
And then I didn't even realize there was another Texas Oncology there over near McClinton. So
Yeah. Well, cancer touches just about everybody in some way. You know somebody who's gone through cancer treatment, and that's a good thing, really, if they're finding these cancers and able to treat them.
Yes.
It's extending folks' lives. But there's always a recovery period. There's issues, and seatbelts are something we have to have.
Right. You have to go to treatments.
Right.
You go to surgery, you want to go to out to eat.
Right.
You want to be able to still live your life.
Right.
And
And something as simple as
comfortably
a
possible.
cushion on
Right.
the seatbelt cap. That to me is just remarkable that you've done this. Now, it's my understanding you're a veteran. Is that
I am.
right? So let's talk a little bit about you. And I mean, you obviously are a servant. You have a servant heart. You want to help people. When did you go in the military? Where did you serve?
Oh my goodness.
Long time ago.
Long time ago.
Long
Yes,
time
it
ago.
was before kids. And I went in 96,
Okay.
I think. I was only in for 6 years. That's where I met my husband, and he retired from military. He was in 25
Was it the
years.
Army or
Army. Both of us were Army.
Mm-hmm. And so you mentioned some of the different moves that you'd made, and so
And all those were through him. Now, we were stationed together in Hawaii. We
Oh,
had gotten married.
tough duty there.
He had gotten orders to Hawaii. And then we got married.
Yeah. So they had to find something for you to do there.
With him there. And so we were both stationed in Hawaii, and then that's where we both got our advanced degrees. And he had gotten out, finished his degree, and then gotten commissioned to go back in. He was an X-ray tech as an enlisted, and then he went back in as an officer. And then I got out, and we decided to start having kids after some of his training. So we went from Hawaii to Fort Hood And then he went to Virginia and then went back to Fort Hood.
Okay, so the Fort Hood duty is why you're in Central Texas. Is that right?
Well,
what brought you here?
I'm from Central Texas.
Ah, okay.
Yes, my parents live here.
Mm-hmm.
And so we always tried to get back to Fort Hood after that and never could. We went from Fort Hood to Germany to El Paso, South Korea, and then South Carolina. And then he got out.
Yep.
He retired.
Seeing the world.
Yes.
Well, it's exciting to me to be able to talk to somebody who's, served their country and is serving humanity in the way that you are. And you say, obviously this is a business for you because you're actually, are you the manufacturer too? I mean, and you're doing everything.
I say we. She works with me. We make everything that comes out of our shop.
Okay, so Emma, let's talk a little bit to you. So what do you do in assembling these? Are you cutting the fabric? What are you doing with all this?
I kind of do a little bit of everything. I kind of like fill in the gaps somewhat in making them.
So your orders, they're all filled in online. Is that?
Pretty much, yes. I have a website, 7stitchesboutique.com. I have an Etsy shop. They're all 7 Stitches Boutique.
How did that name come about?
There's 7 in our family.
And
they're the stitches that hold me together. So
I love it. I love it. So tell me about the rest of your family.
Well, there's.
Emma, are you the oldest of the kiddos?
Yes, the oldest of 5.
All right, very good.
Yes. And then my husband, of course, he's retired military. And then there's Aaliyah. She's number 2, and she's what? 15, yes.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that can't remember how.
You.
Mine are way older than
there's
that.
There's Avery, who also works for me. Well, all the kids do something for
That's
me.
Great.
In some
It
aspect.
is a family business.
Yes, but Avery and Emma are the ones that do the most. Eiley tries. She's 7, though. She's the youngest. And then,
you just wait.
Right. See, Avery's 11. She's 11. Jace is 10, and he's the only boy. And then Eiley's 7.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad to know that's with the 7 stitches. It makes it a little bit easier to remember. And you have a brochure and you have a product list aside from the seatbelt things. You have other items as well?
I have, like I said, I have the Port Pal. That is just a smaller version. I have my surgery sidekick, which is just the big chest pillow that kind of hugs you. This is like a hysterectomy pillow. It's just, the cough pillows that you hold against you.
I've seen
for
heart
pressure.
patients
Yes,
do
for heart
that.
patients, it has a pocket for a heat or a cool pack. And then, that's this. This isn't everything I have. I do drain lanyards for mastectomies. It's just a little to help hold the drains. I do drain bags where they can wear it on a belt with little bags that'll hold the drains.
Now, have you consulted with medical people as to what some of the needs are, or these are just practical things like you said your mom went through?
Yes, and my mom had an ostomy, so I also have I should have brought that one too, a pillow like this, but it has a space that'll fit an ostomy bag underneath it just to allow for that.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want pressure on that.
So that kind of gives
device.
You a little bit of room.
Wow. I mean, my hat's off to you for coming up with these things, and that's wonderful. Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, we're going to learn a little bit more about you, Dawn. So stay with us.
Hey, I'm April.
Hey, I'm Caroline, and this is Bloody Happy Hour,
your newest true crime comedy podcast.
So grab your favorite drink and join us every week for Thirsty Thursday.
We promise to tell you the bloodiest stories and give you a laugh in between. Go find us, follow us, and subscribe anywhere you get your podcasts, because guess what?
We're about to be sipping on some murder.
F-Bomb. This is Mandy and the F-Bomb, where we shed light on stories and invite you to find your place and purpose in the world of foster care. Through my involvement with families involved in foster care and being a foster mom myself, I've learned that it's the things that wreck us the most profoundly that can stitch us back together into the best, purpose-filled versions of ourselves. Tune in to Mandy and the F-Bomb. It's stories that invite you in to find your place and purpose in the world of foster care. You can find us anywhere you get podcasts or at roguemedianetwork.com. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing.
And we're back with Dawn and Emma Jacques, who have a wonderful idea for folks who are recovering from cancer surgeries or any other kind of medical procedures. They're comfort devices for your seatbelts, for whatever you need, because there's pain involved with that. But if you're going to go anywhere, you got to have a seatbelt. So, Dawn, this is 7 Stitches Boutique, is how, and you can just go online and find that.
Yes.
But you also have a nonprofit, Hugs for Healing, which I think is a wonderful. So, how did you come up with that idea for your nonprofit?
I have always donated to the cancer. I've donated the Port Pals to the cancer center since my mom went there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we lost her, about 4 years ago?
I'm sorry.
And so I had been donating these, and I wanted to do more. I wanted to be able to give more. And so, we started the blessing bags. And I just thought, if I could, my ultimate goal, my dream is for these types of things to be provided for patients without all the cost going to the patients. If I could give them all away all the time, I would.
Right. But that's not realistic.
Necessarily realistic or feasible,
Right.
And so this was my other thought. And, if I could get donations in to help get this stuff out to people, then that could be a way to do it. Now, I do have one hospital in South Carolina who purchases for their cardiac ICU unit.
Really?
And they give them to their patients.
Oh.
Which I love. And that's my ultimate goal. I wish all hospitals would do that. To
really?
provide.
I mean, I'm imagining, their logo on the fabric, and a little advertising.
That would be neat. But I love that my logo's on the back.
Yeah, your logo is important as well. But I can just see that as as something that maybe foundations, because these hospitals have that, and for grants.
Well, it's
and
actually
so
their
forth.
foundation that purchases
That's
from me, and
doing
then they give them to their patients.
Yeah. Well, it's wonderful. I'm just so happy that I had the chance to talk to you about this. So your hope bag, what else is in? I mean, there's lots of stuff
We
in there.
do have lots of stuff. We've had this was a really great month of donations. I had a customer turned friend who was able to donate some things, and so
a
it's
little
just
puzzle book.
Yes,
Yeah.
we do a word search book, things that'll just kind of help get through their day at chemo, just when they're starting. So we have, snacks, we have fingerless gloves because hands and feet always get cold.
Right.
And
Yeah, I don't know why medical facilities, they are so cold. Yeah.
So we have something to kind of keep their mind busy. We have some snacks that we give. We've added the applesauce because I try to talk to the nurses when I take things in and go, well, what's good, what's not so good.
Mm-hmm.
And folks going through radiation sometimes will have a harder time swallowing. So this, even if it's chewy, maybe they'll have a harder time swallowing.
Difficult.
So
yeah.
I asked them, I said, would applesauce work? They said that would be great, just for an alternative, if they couldn't eat the other snack. We have bath wipes.
Oh, yeah.
Stress ball.
Oh, man.
And sometimes it's nice to just sit there and
Just-
keep your hand busy.
exactly.
A pen for the word search book. We do some hard candies, lemon. That was my mom's favorite candy, was lemon candies, lemon drops. So
Yeah,
we do lemon candies in honor of her. We do a lip balm, sanitizer.
Oh, my goodness.
And then Old Corner Drug had donated pillboxes to
Pill
us.
box,
So we have those. And then we do a tissue and a prayer crawl. Blessing.
Yeah, yeah. So
and then the
this is a faith-based work as well.
Yes.
You want to talk about that some more?
I wouldn't be here if it weren't for God.
Yeah.
Even though we lost Mom, she was such a Christian, strong woman, and I could only pray to be half the woman that she was.
But she's left a beautiful legacy. That is, for sure, I can see that. in the two. We're all going to start crying here in a minute if I don't keep going. But yeah, this is not the first time you've been on a podcast. No. So I've got something. I normally have a sheet of paper, but anyway, I've got it on my phone. So what I like to do, I like to end these podcasts with a little questionnaire. It's similar to the one that the late, great James Lipton would use on Inside the Actors Studio. Okay. So I'm going to ask you both. We haven't had somebody, I mean, your age. Can I ask your age, Emma?
I'm 19.
You're 19. Okay. Young person. Yes. So we're going to start off, and I will ask you, what is your favorite word? You want to start, Emma? You have a favorite word?
I don't know. Cleo.
Okay. You're all right. Well, that's good. That's good.
Really strength.
Strength. Yeah. Do you have a least favorite word?
Can't.
Yeah. I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Really, from folks.
Moist.
You know what? I think I've heard that before
That's a big
too.
one too. Yeah.
All right. What turns you on creatively, emotionally, or spiritually?
For me, it's just like to be able to reach somebody, to help somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I just to feel like I can make a little bit of a difference.
Mm-hmm. I think you are. What about you, Emma? What excites you about doing something?
Well, I'm an artist, so
Well, there you go.
I find a lot of inspiration in like different medias, like franchises and stuff like that, and music as well. So
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, is there anything that turns you off creatively or spiritually or emotionally?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
That's kind of a hard one.
I don't like when business gets really slow.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't turn me off. That actually makes me want to do more and give more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
So it kind of works as a positive,
it does.
really,
It does.
in your life.
It does sometimes. Yeah.
Uh-huh. What sound, you mentioned music, what sound do you love the most? Your cat crying? I'm just going to.
what sound? Like kitchen sounds.
You do? You like
Yeah.
kitchen sounds?
Like
If somebody busy
she's our
working in the
cook.
kitchen.
I like
Oh, good,
cooking.
yeah. You know, that is a thing. You know, if somebody's busy doing stuff in the kitchen, that, you know, you that's neat. Yeah. What about you? Favorite sound?
Favorite sound? Oh gosh, sewing machine.
Very good.
I love my sewing
Now, I've never
machine.
heard that one before, but yeah, I mean, and
very
we all know what it
soothing.
sounds, the whir,
Yes.
kind of the whir of a sewing machine. Well, what is your least favorite sound?
Oh gosh.
The kids yelling.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody like yelling and not in a happy way.
yeah,
Like somebody's agitating someone else.
yeah.
I don't like
Some
that.
upset of some
Yes.
kind. What other profession would you like to try?
I was a teacher before
Mhm.
or after the military. I was a teacher before this.
Mm-hmm.
So I've pretty much done everything I've loved doing.
Yeah, really?
Yes.
Well, that's good. What any aspiration? What would you like to?
Well, I'm going to school for radiology, so I guess that.
There you go. Okay, very good. Where are you studying? Where are you?
NCC.
At MCC. Cool. What profession do you know you would not want to do?
Retail.
Okay.
That's kind of
But that's
what we
kinda
do.
what you're
Well,
doing.
like in person
Yeah,
retail.
she wouldn't want to do the sales
Dealing with
part,
the
yes.
public, maybe
Yeah.
not so much.
I love
What about you?
That I would not want to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
You know. And I've heard teaching is one of
I
them.
love teaching.
Not that they don't appreciate teachers,
Right.
but yeah, it's a
No.
calling. It's sort of
I couldn't teach, I don't think, middle schoolers.
yeah,
I was a kindergarten teacher.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I love teaching.
Precious, yeah. All right. Finally, what do you want to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
We're so glad to see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe like acknowledging how much I love my family.
Yeah. Love being being the key. Well, you guys have been great, and I appreciate you so much, Dawn and Emma Jacquis with 7 Stitches Boutique. And you can go online and find that where?
7stitchesboutique.com.
And if you feel like you'd like to donate to a nonprofit that is doing a great thing and filling a unique niche of need for folks, and that would be Hugs for Healing. And so how can they get more on that?
Hugsforhealing.org.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you both so much. It's been a delight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Central Texas Living is part of the Rogue Media Network family. Be sure to check out their other shows at roguemedianetwork.com. Please rate us 5 stars on iTunes and anywhere else you get your podcasts. Join us again soon for more Central Texas Living, the podcast.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.